Good morning, and thanks for being here. I'm Paul Neumann. I'm with a company called Universal Woods, but I'm going to talk to people today more about the general technology available with hard surfaces for sublimation. Oops. And sublimation is simply another way to create a digital image onto different materials. And similar to transfer printing, direct printing, screen printing, sublimation printing is simply a way to create a colored product that might be fabric, might be ceramic, might be a variety of the hard substrates we'll speak about this morning. The advantages of sublimation are that you can simply get a better, higher image quality than you can with any of those other media. It is more durable in terms of scratch resistance, hardness, because again, with sublimation, you're actually bonding to the coating, you're bonding to the fabric, as opposed to putting something on top of it. You're in it, you're not on it. And your system cost with sublimation for a small print system is probably 2,000 euros to maybe as much as 60,000 euros, but certainly much less expensive than direct print platforms, etc. The disadvantages of sublimation is it's a two-step process. You have to create a transfer, and then you have to put it in a heat press and create your product. The second disadvantage is the products that you sublimate have to be ready for sublimation. They have to be in some way polyester based so that it will accept the inks that happen in the sublimation process. Oops. Sublimation from a technical perspective, from a chemical perspective, is simply that you go from a solid to a gas without ever going through a liquid phase. That's what it means chemically. So that dry ice, are you guys familiar with dry ice? You know what regular ice is, right? And it melts and it turns into liquid. Dry ice goes from a solid to a gas, it vaporizes without ever going through a liquid phase. It sublimates. In printing, you're using a solid dye particle that is with heat changed into gas, and then it bonds with the sublimatable materials that you're working with. Equipment that's available for this, you need specialized printers in large format. You've got Epson, Mamaki, Muto, all have printers that are specifically designed for sublimation. With heat presses, you've got Monte Antonio here, you've got Seifa here, there are a variety of other large heat press manufacturers, but again, you need a flatbed or a roll-to-roll printer that will apply approximately 200 degrees C to the gases to get them to activate and move into the substrate. Inks, Epson, Mamaki, Sensient, Sawgrass, there are probably others. Those are the leading guys in this industry. Paper, again, it's not a transfer paper, but it has to be a high quality paper that will adequately carry the inks and move them through into that. And so once you have your system, the question is, so what can I do with that system? You probably have an awareness of fabric for sublimation. It's all around this building. People, I think, are generally aware of ceramics, where you can do mugs, tiles, and that sort of thing. What I want to talk about today is other hard substrates that get you into different materials and technologies. I want to begin by talking about how you create a sublimatable surface. And it's something that we specialize in. We use a process called flow coating, but you can roll coat or powder coat or flow coat. With powder coating, you can do this on metals. In wood, there are a large number of European companies that are into the powder coating industry that produce products specifically for sublimation. MDF, again, can be powder coated and then vacuum treated for sublimation. Roll coating, again, you can create wood products or metal products. You get a thinner coat with a roll coating process than you can with either flow coating or powder coating. But again, it works for sublimation. Sorry. And then flow coating, which would be the process that we use, you can use to do aluminum, steel. We coat fiberglass reinforced plastic as well as phenolic. Hey, Darcy, you want to do me a favor and just hand out some more samples? Sure. And what she's showing you is primarily a flow-coated product. This would be, one side of this is flow-coated, the other side of this is roll-coated. So you can kind of see the difference in terms of thickness of coating and what's available within that. So what do you do then? What are the kind of the end applications? What works? You can go obviously from very small parts like coasters, keychains, koozies, that sort of thing, all the way up to 4 foot by 8 foot panels that are wood murals, wall systems, that kind of stuff. In terms of some of the end applications, you have wall art. These are metal or MDF photo panels that happen with this. Thank you. And we detour for a moment now that I have a prop. We talked about how the product actually transfers, and here is a transfer that has had no heat exposed to it, and here it is after it's been exposed to heat, and you can see the material has simply turned into gas, and as it turns into gas, it moves into the coating or into the fabric and actually does the dyeing. That's what happens during the sublimation process. So again, coming back to end applications, wall art, very high-end fine art applications in a wide variety of media. Tabletops, now both for home use in terms of personalized tables, something that goes into a bar area, something that goes perhaps into children's room, in an eating area. Again, the huge advantage of sublimation as a technology is that it is personalizable, customizable, and again, you're doing it in units of one. That's a disadvantage if you say, oh, I have to make 400,000. Probably you don't want to use sublimation. But if you want to make 400,000 pieces and each one of them has a different name, each one of them has a different image, if you're not using sublimation or digital printing, you're dead. And so mass customization with high-end, high-quality products are where sublimation is growing into, and it's growing very quickly into the commercial type applications and away from, not away from, but in addition to the beginning where it was for awards and trophies and small pieces, and now it's arriving into the commercial marketplace, both in the United States, Europe, and in Asia. commercial tabletops, restaurant applications, outdoor picnic tables with roll-coated product, themed restaurants so that you can, for example, if you have a pizza restaurant and you want a pizza table, a sports restaurant, and you're a Barcelona or a Bayern Munich fan, again, you can go straight to that, have the digital image, create this, think about Bayern Munich and your ability to have pictures of each individual player on 13 different or 15 different tables in a restaurant for them, or in a hospitality suite at that stadium. Public art. I'm sorry. Hey, I obviously haven't mastered this yet. This is an office building in Paris. You can see they've added together multiple panels to create that art. We don't have necessarily pictures of it here, but UCLA Medical Center in Los Angeles has 350 different sublimated images in it. Jimmy John's restaurant franchise in the United States with 1,800 different venues put aluminum photo panels into their restaurants, again, because of the durability of the image, because of the quality of the image. It really is something that works on a commercial sphere. In this particular instance, that's in a shopping center in Florida. Each of these panels is 0.6 by 1.2 meters, and so you can see the height of it. You can see people coming through that. That was in a shopping center that had 1.5 million visitors every year, and yet, again, because of the durability of the coatings, it held up to that kind of traffic without any kind of damage, and also looked brilliant. Children's Hospital, again, and if you think about Children's Hospital, bringing that kind of color, that kind of vibrancy, but it's also cleanable, so that you're in a children's hospital and you have, obviously you're worried about germs, you're worried about dirt, you've got fingerprints all over this. This is cleanable with regular household cleaners like Windex, with acetone, very stain resistant. And again, the difference with sublimation that we keep coming back to is you're in it, not on it. And so that the surface that you get with the material is in fact what's carrying the product through. Dry erase applications. This is a public school down in Texas, and this whole wall is steel dry erase, and so that the kids line up to go to lunch, go to recess, go to whatever. They have dry erase markers. At this school, you're allowed to write on the wall. You're encouraged to write on the wall, because you can then just erase it and go back to the next day. And so again, the durability, the special features that you can build into these products are critical in terms of the markets and how they can develop. That's a medical center in Kansas. At least in the United States, I don't know about Europe, but every hospital has multiple patient rooms, and the patients get different nurses around the clock, and so they have dry erase boards where they can leave notes about the patient, notes about the charts, etc. And so to be able to not just have those be a plain white board, to have those have have lines for writing on, to have them have messages, to have them have art so that it cheers up the patient is something that's possible now and can be incorporated into the rooms. And again, every room can be different, so that you can have room number 360 and you can have something different for the people that are there recovering from heart attacks that's very different than the pediatrics part of the hospital where the children are. And again, part of the differences with sublimation is mass customization. You're able to do it in units of one and create those products. Furniture applications, custom kitchens. This is actually done by a company in Turkey, and it's done with medium density fiberboard that they have crafted, edged, and you can see they're creating a visual image, a visual impression, and again, every kitchen is different. But with sublimation, that's not a problem. That's an advantage, not a disadvantage. And so that instead of going into a housing area and you see, oh, this house is the same as this house, is the same as this house, nobody wants their kitchen to look just like their neighbors. And with sublimation, you have the opportunity to make an art piece out of your kitchen and to have a differentiation within that. Signage. Mercedes, I think I'm in the right country for that. So a small car company that has penetrated some into the U.S. market. And so every Mercedes dealership now in the U.S. has aluminum signage that is a history of Mercedes and the brand and shows the differences. Again, why did they pick sublimation? They picked it because they could have different sizes for the different dealerships. Number two, because the brilliance of the image was the high quality that Mercedes looked for. And number three, the durability of the product. If anybody got a coin, if you try it, just tap on that, scratch on that, it won't scratch, it won't mar. And so that there are confidence in that looking as good 5 years from now as it did when they began the product was absolute, you know? And and so that was the choice they made for this. This is again a very big arena in Louisville, Kentucky, where we're from, and the signage that is up over the top of the restaurant areas. These are 1.2 by 1.2 meter panels that are then imaged together, and so the whole piece is 2.4 by 15 meters long, and again, full color, high attraction, good skin tones, excellent image, and in this case they are fire resistant panels so that they are safe for public areas. So a lot of, again, variety of what you can do. Flooring applications. This is from a company in Japan. Those are actually kiwa that are plastic that they're actually directly imaging into, and then again applying to the floor. And again, because you're in it, you're not on it. It is again much more scratch resistant. For us, a new product that we just introduced. This is a flooring application that is designed to be able to go 500,000 times with a robot wheel across it and a pivot without wearing through the coating, wearing through the image. And so this will last 8 to 10 years in a high traffic area in a warehouse. It's made with aluminum oxide and a texture so that you don't get some of the issues that you would if you tried to walk on some of the other products you see. If you could just pass it back. So very durable product. And again, when we started in this business 15 years ago with sublimation, you could print onto some thin sheets of aluminum and ceramics and fabric, and that was it. 15 years later, the choices are incredible. 5 years from now, they will be even more so. And the growth that's happened in sublimation is quite simply a function of the imagination of the customer that has happened now with the digital revolution and the speed of printers and what's happened with ink development, and the imagination of all the suppliers to this industry that now, instead of 5 products, there are 5,000 products you can do with sublimation. And as you move into large format, the commercial spaces and the commercial applications that are now we're really only scratching the surface at this point. It's 10% of our business for us. It's maybe 20% of the business for some of our competitors. Commercial applications will be at least as big as consumer applications 5 years from now. I mean, it's a tremendously fast-growing element of what's happening with sublimation. And with that, I'll be happy to take questions, answer things, if I could.